What is up, guys? It is Samool here, back with another epic 7 tier list for you guys. And today we're going to be organizing all the 3-star specialty change units into PvE rankings. Now I'm going to try to keep this as transparent as possible. I'm not going to really talk about bad units being good or anything like that, because I really know that specialty change, especially in the early game, takes a lot of time and resources, and you don't really want to invest into bad heroes, especially for PvE, because in the early and mid game, all you guys are going to be doing or focusing on is PvE for the most part, and it's very important to get your teams running. And if you guys mismanage your resources and invest into bad units early, you're going to slow down your account progression. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. And we're going to start with Angelic Mod Rancy. This is probably the unit that you will do the specialty change for first out of every single unit here, and she is probably one of the best units that you can get from these specialty change units. She's insane pretty much everywhere in PvE. Even in late game PvE, you'll take her into a lot of areas of content because she is the best cleansing unit in the game, especially for PvE. Her turn cycling is amazing, her healing is great, she has immunity buff, and she's just an all-around very strong unit. Also a very good tank because you can build her decently bulky, you can put her on 200% effect resist, and she won't get debuffed at all from any bosses. So very, very S unit. Honestly, she could even be like S+. She's just that great in PvE. Next, we have Adventurer Ross. Adventurer Ross is probably going to be either your second or third unit that you specialty change, or that I recommend that you specialty change, and he is also a very strong all-around unit. You can use him in Expeditions, you can use him in Dark Expedition, you can use him in Earth Expedition, you can use him in pretty much all of Abyss, you can use him in Labyrinth, you can use him in Raid. He's very good in Raid if you guys are struggling with a Raid team. He's just super flexible. He has a dual attack, a defense break, he has a defense buff for his team, which makes them very tanky. He has healing for himself, which makes him very strong. He has a dispel or strip on his S1, which makes him very valuable into bosses like Azimnak 13 and like Hell Queen as well. So very, very strong all-around hero. I'm going to put him below Angelic Mod Rancy because although he's very good, Angelic Mod Rancy you can take pretty much everywhere in the game. And Adventurer Ross you can take into maybe like 80%, 90% of content in the game, maybe almost every area of content. But Angelic Mod Rancy is kind of a must-have in some areas of content, where Adventurer Ross you can be a little bit more flexible with and swap him out for some other units. Next, we have Falconer Clary. So Falconer Clary is similar to Adventurer Ross in that she has a defense break, she has strips, but the only thing is she's a little bit less consistent, I'd say, because Adventurer Ross's strip is on his S1, so you can, spam it, and then if you miss a few times, it's fine. But Falconer Clary's is on a longer cooldown, so if it gets 15%ed, you're kind of screwed in some bosses like A13, for example, even like Hell Queen. But her defense break is very strong if you're manualing because you can soul burn it to ignore effect resist. She has very good healing, she has good turn cycling, so I'm going to put her in S tier as well. You can use her in Dark Expedition, she's very good, and even Ice Expedition, she's very good as well. Just I think A-Ross is a bit more consistent and safer, especially for newer players, because on lower speed and worse gear, A-Ross will be a lot better than Falconer Clary, in my opinion, for PvE and PvP. Next, we have Commander Lorena. So Commander Lorena has had her ups and downs, I'd say. So in the beginning, when she first got released, she was like one of the best units by far for specialty change units for PvE. She was one of the best single target DPSs. Then we had like Landy come out, Luna come out, a lot of good PvE units, and then she kind of fell down a bit. And with the release of Katie's and Dark Expedition, right, you can use her in a lot of one-shot comps as well. I think she's come up a bit as well, but I'm not going to put her in S tier. I'm going to kind of reserve S tier for the super OP units. Probably going to be these 3 units that I mentioned. But I'm going to put Commander Lorena in A tier because there's a lot of good replacements to her now. She is a very strong single target DPS, don't get me wrong. She has a lot of damage. She has no debuffs, meaning you can take her into bosses that have a debuff cap. But there's also a lot of units nowadays that you can randomly pull that can take her spot. For example, Landy, Luna, you can even get Bomb Model Kana from Connection. She's a very good substitute to her as a DPS. You can use basically any single target unit in the game, and you'll have pretty similar results. It's just that Commander Lorena is free to play, so I'm going to put her in A tier. But honestly, if you put her in S tier, where some people think that she's in S tier, you wouldn't be wrong. She's a very good unit. Next, we have Mercenary Helga. So Helga, I'm also going to put in A tier. I think she's one of the most underrated specialty change units in the game. People think that she's only good in Ice Expedition, where she is one of the best units, if not the best unit for it. But she's also very good in Katie's. She's also very good in general PvE purposes as like a defense breaker and a buffer for her team. She does pretty decent single target damage. She has very consistent defense breaking, and as a sub DPS that can buff your team, she's actually a very strong unit. I think she's very, very underrated. Next, we have Zealot Carmen Rose. So I think Carmen Rose is actually pretty decent, especially because of the release of Dark Expedition. You actually kind of need her, or not Dark Expedition, Light Expedition. You actually kind of need her there as well. So I'm going to put her in B tier. Honestly, you could put her a bit higher, but I think she's more suited for PvP with her kit. But her kit is very, very good against Light Expedition. If you bring her, she's very strong there. You can also bring her as a general purpose DPS unit if you want, but I wouldn't recommend her over other units. Next, we have Rima. I don't know if this is a guy or a girl, guys. You guys have to let me know, because it can go either way depending on the day. But I'm going to put Rima. I think it's Rima, right? Because rhyming, right? And this unit's all about like songs and stuff. But anyways, this unit's going to be in the D tier. So Rima has like a weird mechanic similar to a Asaria's resetting, but it's like a worse version. And the damage is very low, and the support utility is like not even that great. You're never going to take this unit anywhere. I could try to, you know, reason why it's good because, oh, the kit's unique and stuff, but it's just bad. Don't use him or her. Next, we have Pearl Horizon. So, honestly, this unit is not terrible. I've seen some people use her in Ice Expedition, but I think there's just no reason to ever build her or take her over anyone. So, I'm going to put her in D tier. Like I said, I could reason why her kit's good because she has like unique features in her kit, but it's like there's no reason. Because, yeah, she's just not good. Don't waste your investment into her unless you really like her design. But from an efficiency standpoint and from how good she is relatively to the other units, not that great. Next, we have Mascot Hazel. So Mascot Hazel is top of B tier. If you bring her in a full fire party, she's like SSS tier, right? She's better than Tamarin in full fire party, so you'll take her into Earth Expedition late game once you have a team built around her. But unless she's in a full fire party, which you will never really bring except into like Golem or fire or Earth Expedition, she's not that great. But if you are in a full fire team, she's a very strong unit. So you'll most likely only ever use her in Earth Expedition or Golem. So for that reason, she's in the B tier. Next, we have Butcher Core Inquisitor. So this unit's actually not bad. He's a good Earth Expedition tank. He's a knight. He can hold Aureus. The only thing is, yeah, like I said, why would you ever take him over Aros? Not too sure. But he is better than the other two units in D tier, so we'll put him in the C tier. Next, we have Axel. So Axel is also D tier. I'm going to put him like here. Actually, probably at the bottom because, one, his kit's made for PvP, and two, he's only really good against light units. So, yeah, not that great. Not a lot of light bosses in the game anyways. Next, we have Righteous Thief Rusen. So, Rusen, I'm going to put in B tier. Yeah, so I think he is very good in Ice Expedition, like Mercenary Helga. But besides that, he's not really good anywhere else. He has a good speed buff and some decent damage, but he's kind of like a worse version of Mercenary Helga, where in the fact that he's good in Ice Expedition just like her, but he's not as good in other areas of content where Mercenary Helga can be used. Next, we have Pilus. So I think this unit's not that bad, but she's not that great either. In PvP, she's like pretty strong. She's a good counter to some meta units, but in PvE, not that great. I'm going to put her probably at the bottom of B tier because she's a knight and she's very, very tanky. She has decent bulk, right? But yeah, I don't know why you'd ever take her over Aros or Falcon O'Clurry either. Next, we have Wanda. So Wanda is a very good PvP unit, very strong opener, but not that great in PvE. Honestly, I'll put her in C tier because I don't think she's as bad as the D tier units. Captain Rickarus. So this guy's actually underrated. Actually a pretty good stripper. Decent support for the team. He just does like low damage, and I'm gonna use this argument again. There's no reason to take him over other units that can, you know, strip and, you know, support the team. But he's actually not a bad option if you want to use him. Probably gonna put him in the middle of B tier. I think he's very, very underrated. He's actually not that bad. Next, we have Researcher Carrot. So this unit's really strong in PvP ever since her buffs, but in PvE she's not that great. One, she has too many debuffs. So on bosses where you have a debuff cap, you're going to run into some problems. She also has, she has 3 debuffs in her kit. I think 2 burns from her S3, and then she also has the S1 slow. And yeah, you're gonna probably want to build her on a more tanky build for PvP, so you won't be able to use her in PvP and PvE. And also, burns don't do that much damage in PvE compared to PvP because they scale with their attack. Whereas other units you're gonna have like scaling attack bonuses over time, like Commander Lorena, or, you know, have better buffs for themselves to make them do damage, like speed buffs, right? but Researcher Carrot's not that great in PvE. We'll put her at the bottom of C tier. Next, we have Magic Scholar Doris, last but not least. So she is a Soul Weaver, but she's nowhere near as good as Angelic Mod Rancy, the other Soul Weaver. PvP, she's a very, very strong A tier for Guild Wars and World Arena as a Dark Unit counter. But in PvE, you're not going to really use her because, yeah, she benefits from being attacked by Dark Units. So not a lot of Dark bosses in the game, and even if there are, there's no reason to take her over Angelic Mod Rancy and Tamarin. But for her Soul Power, I'm going to put her at the bottom of B tier because, yeah, she does have some cleansing and she does have some decent healing, but no reason to take her. And yeah, that's pretty much it for my specialty change PvE tier list, guys. If you guys agree or disagree with anything that I've said, make sure you guys let me know in the comments down below. And always, as always, make sure you hit that like and subscribe, guys. It really helps my channel out a lot. And I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.